So what am I supposed to do about my love of fried chicken?
I'm going to have to get you back to you on that one because...
Hello there, this is Dominic Damaski with Motivation Champs. I'm here on episode 2 of Discovering Inspiration, and recently I was scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through social media, and I came across the guy. I hadn't seen the gentleman for about 20 years, and here he was, an inspirational guru. He started something called Strive for Strength. It was a friend of mine, Jeff Shear, from high school. He started Strive for Strength. Here he was, 40 years old. He thought he had put on a few pounds, and he decided that he was going to do something about it. He decided that he was going to make a change, and not only was he going to make a change, he was going to help other people change their lives too. Without further ado, here he is, Mr. Handsome, Strive for Strength, Jeff Shear.
How's it been, Dom?
I've been doing great. I'm so inspired by you. I see Jeff Shear on Facebook. Here he is, Strive for Strength. I see this guy sharing inspiration, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know that handsome guy. That's Jeff Shear. So I got to ask, what made you decide at 40 years old to put yourself out there? Because you are putting yourself out there. I make a video, people say I'm fat, people say I look funny, they say I'm dressed funny. So what made you put yourself out there?
It was a combination of a bunch of different things. I have continued to gain weight throughout my life. I was unhappy with myself. I've tried to lose weight many, many times and have quite frankly failed. And then it was a combination of me also wanting to always do a YouTube channel. I always thought that it would be more along the lines of playing video games, believe it or not, because I love to play video games. I'm a kid at heart.
Right.
So I thought that if I ever did a YouTube channel, it would be somewhere along the lines of playing video games. But I just don't have the time in my life, kids and jobs and things like that to play video games for hours a day in order to, have a successful YouTube channel. So with that said, I just kept on trying to think of different ways to do it. And like I said, I was so unhappy with the way that, my body was looking. I was the heaviest that I'd ever been in my entire life.
How much?
263.8 pounds is what I weighed whenever I very, very first started this thing.
Now, what were you at your, so I remember you're a college athlete. I remember this guy had like 20-some tackles in a high school game. So at your fittest of fit when you're tackling people out on the field, how much did you weigh?
Well, I played college football, and so when I graduated college, my senior year, 22 years old, I weighed 205 pounds, and they test our body fat all the time, and I had 6% body fat. So of course I was in the gym all the time because we had strength coaches, and I was running all the time. So I would say 22 years old, just graduated college, 6% body fat. Like I looked pretty good.
6% body fat, and now 40 years old, and you're up to 260. So I imagine it's not 6% body fat at that point.
No, it's probably in the 30s. Like it's not good.
So you decide, well, I'm gonna journal this struggle. I mean, the struggle. I struggle to not eat fried chicken every day, and you're telling me not only am I not going to eat it, I'm going to put it out there for everybody to judge me. Come on, man.
No, you're exactly right. Like I said, I struggled with trying to lose weight so many different times and it failed. So I was trying to think of different ways of how I can do this and then hold myself accountable for it. And ultimately, the YouTube thing just kind of like clicked like that this is the way that I'm going to ultimately hold myself accountable. Like I am putting myself on blast for everybody to see. My coworkers, friends that I haven't seen in 20 years, my family, like all probably thinking, what is he doing? Like I never thought in a million years I would have a picture of myself on the internet with my shirt off. I always used to make fun of guys that would do that. And then I thought to myself, well, this is the only way to do it and ultimately hold myself accountable.
So did you put a shirtless picture on the internet yet?
I did. I did.
That's my biggest fear. So,
episode 2, my second video, I thought to myself, I kept on going back and forth on whether I would do it or not. And I figured I needed to do this. The people need to see the real me, the real truth, the honest Jeff. This is what we're starting out with. This is how he looks. So that whenever I need a good before picture so that hopefully 6 months from now or a year from now, I could show the after picture and I could say, this is what I went to from this to this.
How do we know how much weight to actually put on these bars?
I always start low and then go up from there. Never feel like you're intimidated at the gym. If you just want to put 25s on and then go from there and be like, oh, that was pretty light, and then go up from there. Because you never want to throw on too much weight,
Right.
and like have like a big, an ego thing, and then the next thing you know, you're getting crushed with it.
Right.
So like you do 3 sets of 10. 3 sets of 10 is a good, a good benchmark.
Good. Seven.
That's 7. Come on, you got it. 8. Good. 9. Give me one more.
I think I might be able to do 2 more.
Go for it. I got you.
That was a big bounce. Was that too big of a bounce?
Give me one more. You're good.
Okay.
If you don't know the technique, you're going to blow your back out, and you're going to be twice as screwed as you are with your pec. So I definitely recommend deadlifts and squats, but you have to have people teaching you the technique to know what you're doing. Don't just jump in there and start squatting.
You're going shirtless, and I'm wearing a girdle under what I got on here. So how has the journey been going? Now you put yourself out there. It's been a month, couple weeks, or something like that. You sneak in Sour Patch Kids and candy, or how's it going?
No, it's going really well. I have 5 episodes on YouTube, but that's not really what it's about. It's more just me keeping up with my journey for whoever's watching. But this Sunday will mark 1 month that I started, and it's going well. I've had absolutely no cheat meals.
No cheat meals, no chicken wings, no McDonald's.
I've honestly had no cheat meals whatsoever. I know it's hard to believe, but we went away on Memorial Day weekend, and there was pies and brownies and all type of goodies out, and I never dived in once because again, I'm holding myself accountable, and I don't want to let people down, and I don't want to let myself down.
Right.
And ultimately, if I don't succeed with this thing, I'm going to look like a fool. Like, people are going to be like, they're going to see me a year from now, and if I look exactly the same as I did,
You are putting yourself out there.
they're going to say, wow, that's the guy that started the YouTube channel, and he looks exactly the same. Like,
Well, I really respect for what you're doing, because one of my big beliefs is you tell the world your goals. So if there's something you want, as soon as you tell people your goals, you're making yourself accountable to those goals. Because now, like you said, girlfriend, kids, friends, they're all checking you, saying, "What's this guy doing now?" How often, now that you're getting in shape, you're tracking everything, like me, I'm sore all the time. People are busy. When do we lift weights? How are we supposed to figure out, with a job, with kids, with this, when we're supposed to exercise?
Yeah, well,
teach.
Well, no, absolutely. Well, one, you definitely, if you have a family, which I do, and you need the cooperation from your family. You need the support of them. You need to go to them and say, listen, I'm unhappy with the way that I look. I'm unhappy with, my lifestyle at this point in regards to my physical fitness. You need to give me, an hour a day. And that's all that I do at this point. I take an hour, I lift 3 days a week. I go to the gym. I take an hour, and then I come home. My cardio days, I do a half hour. So I'm not eating up a ton of my time in the gym or doing cardio, but I'm doing something. I'm 5 days a week. I'm out there and I'm doing something, which was way 100 times more than what I was doing before.
No, so what about being sore and things like that? When you're sore, do you exercise the next day, or?
I actually do. It was something that I had learned a long time ago, playing, college football and everything, that the best way to get through your soreness is to keep on going, and battle through it.
You got it. Let's go. 7, that was all you. Give me one more.
A lot of times people will just do all chest and then jump over to tries and then do all tries. I try and do chest, then go over to tries, then chest, and then tries.
Tell me what would that be?
This pull
Yeah.
Can we try
Like
try to
that?
push down?
Yeah, I have a rope over there too. Is that better?
Oh yeah, that's actually perfect.
The name is Strive for Strength.
Correct.
So, what does that mean to you?
Well, Strive for Strength, when I was trying to create like a name, so to speak, on how I would go with this thing, I wanted people to as soon as they heard it, identify that it had something to do with physical fitness or health, and then just the fact that I'm going through a transformation, I'm striving for strength, like I'm trying to get somewhere. So again, with the motivation, I'm motivating myself to strive for strength.
I'm in. I'm a fan. So, are you seeing are people tuning in or messaging you, or what are they saying?
I've gotten a lot more positive feedback than I thought that I would. I had people that I didn't talk to for like 5 or 6 years, give me inbox messages in Facebook and say, "Wow, I really love what you're doing. You're putting yourself out there." You always worry whenever you do something like this if you're going to get criticized. Right. Like you have people talking behind your back. Right. Oh, what's this guy think he's doing? But I got a lot of positive feedback, and I was happy.
I'm telling you, man, I always complain about being sore, and I used to have a podcast, and on the podcast one time I had this guy that he was the world's oldest American Ninja Warrior. Charles Mammy was his name. Okay. And he worked out 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, and so I'm like, Charles, how can you do that? I'm sore all the time, and you know what his answer to me was? Get over yourself. Right? Strive for Strength. That's a pretty good name. So, first time? How do you come up with a name like that?
No, it took me 3 or 4 days actually. I would, go to work and I would write down probably 30, 40, 50 different names that I felt like might fit, and then I'd run them by my fiance whenever when I got home from work, and she would tell me, "No, that one's horrible," or "That one's pretty good."
So, probably your favorite ones too.
No, my very first day, the winner was Jeff Goes Beast Mode. That was the winner day one. So thank God that's not the name of the channel.
We got the name Strive for Strength. People are starting to message you. Now, do we shut it off? Where do we go from here?
The ultimate goal is, of course, to lose the weight. And then to maintain the weight loss, because a lot of the people that they say that whenever they lose weight, it's even harder to keep the weight loss than to just lose the weight itself. So the ultimate goal right now, like I said, I started at 263. 210 pounds is what I would ultimately like to be at, and then kind of go from there in terms of shape my body potentially the way that I want. I don't want to be. I said this in my very first episode. I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to be absolutely huge. I just want to be physically fit and built well.
It's an honorable goal. How do we support Jeff Shear? How do we support Strive for Strength? What do we need to do? How do I become a subscriber? Teach me.
If you go on YouTube and you search the channel Strive for Strength, FOR, not for the number, because you would something else. Strive for Strength. I think I'm like the top search at this point. And then I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Strive for Strength. So you can follow me on all that, subscribe to the channel. It would be a huge help to me and everything I'm trying to accomplish.
I'm asking you, check this guy out, Strive for Strength. Jeff Shear, really cool guy. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Dom. I appreciate it.
This is Dominic Domaski. This was episode 2 of Discovering Inspiration. Today we had Jeff Shear on. Super inspiring dude. I hope you check him out. At 40 years old, he decided he was not only going to change his life, he was going to change other people's life. So what am I supposed to do about my love of fried chicken?
I'm going to have to get you back to you on that one, because I'm still figuring out how to get around, my loves for things. Right. There's definitely foods that I absolutely love that I necessarily can't eat right now.
Right. Yeah, just say no.
Yeah.